Professor Layton may not yet be on Switch, but we're putting on our detective caps and talking about the top 5 Nintendo Switch mysteries for 2018. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is here, and we know some of what is destined for Switch in 2018. We have speculated on what we want from the Switch in 2018, and you have told us what you hope to see from Switch in 2018, but there still are mysteries abound. And these are the top 5 questions we need Nintendo to answer throughout the next calendar year. And we'll start off with what is probably the biggest, and that is, what the heck is releasing on Switch in 2018?
We have to have more than Yoshi and Kirby, right? We have to? Question mark?
I mean, inevitably. We know that E3 will be a big time. In theory, the January rumored direct will be a big time, but it is a bit odd that, similar to before the Switch launch, we don't know what is destined for our favorite system in the coming year, specifically from Nintendo, and I guess in general, there aren't a lot of high-profile announcements thus far, and it feels like Nintendo is adopting this idea that, hey, we're going to announce and release. And it even showed up at the Game Awards with the Bayonetta 2 Plus 1 collection dropping in February. I'd say right now that's the highest profile game with a date. And what else is there? You know, Reggie has said over and over that they plan to continue their regular releases. And it's something they did so excellently in 2017. It was such a difference from the Wii U. But we don't know what those games are besides Bayonetta, Yoshi, and Kirby, and all 3 of those, in theory, are early year titles. The second half of 2018 is a total mystery.
Travis strikes again. I only say that in jest because it's a Suda51 game that's exclusive to Switch. I'm really excited for it, but you're right. We don't know anything, really. And part of that makes me really excited, and part of that makes me really worried. Because Reggie can say it all he wants that they want to maintain the momentum, but it's so difficult to keep up. That's the problem with having a stellar year. Nintendo has had a historically amazing year. Like, I don't know if this ever happens again to this level. If they can duplicate this, man, oh man. They have the franchises to choose from, obviously. You know, we can still get a Donkey Kong game. I feel like a Smash port would do well as well, but there's a lot of months in the year. I feel like third parties are going to need to step up. Instead of, you know, the one big game a month thing being exclusively Nintendo, I feel like third parties are going to need to come in here and handle some of that load, just because Nintendo needs to work on these other things. Retro has a game coming. We don't know when. But, yeah, what's coming, Zach? Tell me.
I just think it's interesting to see and finally understand, you know, how far some of these projects are along. Metroid Prime 4, the Pokemon title, whatever Retro's working on, Pikmin 4. You know, we don't have dates yet for Kirby or Yoshi. We assume those are, you know, March, April type titles. We know Bayonetta is going to be February, and that's great. Bayonetta 3 was announced, but that doesn't seem like it's anytime soon. So Nintendo really needs, I think, to come through strong in January and alert us to what is going on in 2018. Obviously, there's plenty to play right now. Over 500 games, epic indie titles, great mainstream AAAs. But what is next? And I think that's something that we need Nintendo to address. And if you look at the other platforms, the reason that Sony is so strong in comparison to Microsoft right now is because they have such an amazing future lineup with God of War, with Spider-Man, with Days Gone, with Detroit, with Shadow of the Colossus HD. What does Nintendo have? We need to find out soon.
January. I have faith. I have all the faith in the world in them right now.
Yeah, I think it has to be that. It really has to be.
This next thing, though, I don't have as much faith in. Zach.
Yeah.
Where has Virtual Console gone? Will it ever appear on Nintendo Switch? What's going on with the online? Are we getting it early in the year as originally planned? We did have that sort of like an incidental leak from Nintendo Italy that it might not come until the end of the year now. What's happening?
And I feel like that has to be wrong. I feel like there's no way that a simple online infrastructure gets delayed till the fall, you know, especially since we presume that whatever Virtual Console is, whatever this online library of old games is, has to be tied to the online service, and that is the reason for the delay. I feel like this has to be early year, and if it is something that in fact is delayed till fall, I don't know what the heck is going on. I think that is a major setback, and I think at some point we just need the truth about Virtual Console. Nintendo's platform is perfect for old titles. It is the ideal way to partner the past with the present, and yet we have nothing. And even to a further degree, what's the pricing like? Is it a separate app? Does it just fall into the eShop? Does the online bring extra features? Does the online finally bring YouTube and Netflix? Does the online bring themes? Is the online merely just, hey, pay and you can, play multiplayer and have access to this little library of NES titles? How does it all work out? And similar to the releases, we are completely in the dark at this point. And illumination on those factors, even without the online and without Virtual Console, you still play games online and it's free. So like a delay, maybe isn't the worst thing in the world. But I feel at a certain point, this system, there are some aspects that are kind of early access about it. And it would be great to get some finalization or at least an update on what the heck is going on.
Let me ask you this. You keep saying that you don't think it's true. What does your gut tell you? When do you think that the online is coming? Do you think it's coming early in the year, or do you think it's definitely got pushed back towards the end of the year? Ask your gut.
I think it is going to be something that launches in the March-April timeframe. I don't think anymore it's something that they announce and drop. I really thought there would be a 2018 sort of look ahead update of some sort in December. That obviously did not happen. I don't think that they come out, hey, we got a direct January 17th, and also online's ready. My gut says that they would tie it into a title so that it would have more, more impact. But as of right now, we don't have, Yoshi and Kirby, I guess Kirby. If you're going to say that Kirby is multiplayer, and maybe it goes with that, even though it doesn't really feel like something that you would, pair your online service with. But I'm going to say, like a end of Q1, beginning of Q2 launch for this online service.
I am afraid that it got pushed back to 2018.
Well, it did get pushed back to 2018.
No, late 2018, excuse me, like way back.
Okay.
The Nintendo Italy thing that we just referenced. For anyone that doesn't know, on one of the websites, it's an official Nintendo website, it does say that the online paid service is launching late 2018, so people kind of assumed, like, hey, does that mean that it just got pushed? We don't have any other information other than that weird quote-unquote leak. It might be a mistake, who knows? But I am afraid that it got pushed back just because there's no connection between these. But the cartridges also getting pushed back to a later date. I don't know. Maybe something's going on over there. I'm not sure.
It's going to be very interesting. And I sure as heck hope that January Direct gives us more info, at least an update. I feel like Nintendo has been so good at a fan-centric PR program for the Switch. It's time to talk. It's time to talk. The number 3 mystery is about number 3, and that is the third-party support. Will they actually come through? I think the signs point to them coming through. But when you look at the list, there aren't a lot of high-profile third-party titles announced or dated for 2018. We know that older titles like Payday 2 and Wolfenstein 2 are hitting the system. We don't have any real knowledge, though, of simultaneous releases for new games. There's no indication of what EA's plans are, what Ubisoft's plans are. And I think it's going to be interesting to see when we get the notice that this is actually happening. I think the sales and the success and what third parties have said leads you to believe that they will come through, but I still want my proof. And I think that is going to be an interesting storyline through 2018. Is it something that doesn't really rear its head till E3? Is it a back half of 2018? Did these companies sit in a holding pattern too long to wait it out, and now we're not going to get that third-party support till the second half? Or are there things ready? We heard, rumors from Bandai Namco is plenty ready. So far, not a whole lot from that rumor. In general, a lot of companies say, no, we want to put more, Where? What? When?
It takes a while to make these games, right? And we know some stuff. We know about Mega Man coming. We know that, probably Monster Hunter will make its way over here. So certain things, and I'm just talking about Capcom stuff at that point. But Sega has made it clear that they love Switch, and the success is hard to ignore. You can't sell this many consoles and not have third parties on there, they're going to want to try to get a piece of the pie. So I feel like all that is coming. Do we ever get like day and date for like everything? I don't even know if that's something that we should expect on Switch, but I hope it happens. I just feel like in most instances, it's catch up, right? A lot of these companies need to figure out how to port their, very pretty graphically intensive games to the Switch. Wolfenstein 2 is a good example of that. Game's been out for a little bit now, and they got to figure out how to port this thing in the best way they can. So I do think we get more third-party support absolutely in the year, probably not to the later half, honestly. Although the January Direct could drop some bombs on us and, hey, Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming. Who knows if maybe they started working on it like right after they saw that the Xenoverse 2 was successful. Maybe they started FighterZ work right away. And
let's be very clear, that is Gabe speculating. There is no indication thus far that... Yeah.
I'm sorry. I felt like I was being clear. My apologies. So yes, I'm saying like if that is something that's happening, we're not getting it till at least mid-year, probably a little bit later. Because remember when we got all the third-party support this year for Switch? It was a lot of November love, right? We had that month where Doom came out, Skyrim came out, like Bethesda just really like knocked stuff out of the park. Ubisoft is the other interesting one, just because Mario plus Rabbids like did so well. We know that there's still story DLC coming for that. But after that, like, what do you do next? The game sold well, so do you get a sequel for that? Do you get to maybe play around in another Nintendo land?
Right, and do they bring their big franchises, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, etc., to the Switch? Do we get anything of that sort? And I think I hope that there is stuff in the first half of the year. I hope Q1 and Q2 have third-party support. We did, like you mentioned, have to wait quite a ways to get that third-party support in year one, and I hope that year two, I hope that there's some stuff ready, and that we just don't have the announcements yet. But it definitely, I think that January Direct, if it's full of Nintendo, full of indie, full of third-party, full of a mixture, that kind of seems like where all these things are coming to a head. And, we could be surprised. We could get a January Direct that focuses on Kirby and Yoshi, and that's it. And we might not have any of these mysteries answered. But I feel like right now we are waiting with bated breath for that January Direct. The fourth mystery is a bit more of a broad stroke idea, and that is there any way Nintendo can replicate 2017's success? Is there any chance that come December of next year, we're sitting here talking about how amazing of a year the Switch had? And I'm not talking just about the games, but I'm also talking about the sales and sort of the mind share. Is it possible for Nintendo to maintain or even grow the level of impact that the Switch has had, or is that sort of a 2017 thing and 2018 is just now about making sure they don't screw up?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like that's what it is. You can't top this year. It's impossible. You have Mario and Zelda come out this year. Like that you're playing like with loaded bases. You got your 3 home runs in already. Like you got to get more people on bases at this point. I feel like that's what sorry to use a baseball analogy, but I feel like that's what 2018 is. Like, hey, you hit your home run, you brought everything home, everybody's super happy with you guys again, and now get a couple more singles in there. Hit the baseball a couple times, get some more people on those bases, so maybe the following year you can knock some stuff out again. Pokemon, Metroid. I feel like those stuff, if 2018, I'm not going to sit here and talk about, what I think about that, but if 2018, we're only getting one of those. There's no way we get both in 2018. So you also got to plan for the future. I know that Nintendo is doing a lot of, hey, this game, it's coming out in like 2 months, buy it. Like they're doing that a lot, and we acknowledge that. And I actually kind of prefer things this way, but it does leave me a little bit worried. And how do you replicate a year where you like successfully launch a brand new system that introduces a new way of playing it for people like that? It's,
right.
It's not possible.
I mean, I think the only way is if you say, okay, we're going to go from 10 to 20 or even more million units, and therefore we're going to have prominent third-party support. I think, obviously, yes, Zelda and Mario are insanely tough to top, especially including the fact that we did get Mario Kart 8 as well. But if you do have a year that brings out Kirby and Yoshi, and let's say they do come out with another Retro DK and one of Pokemon or Metroid, that's still a pretty prominent first-party lineup. Maybe you get a Pikmin in there if they're really committed to going all out. And
Smash.
Then say we get major...
Smash.
Or Smash, sure. Major... okay, let's say that even. Let's say we get Yoshi, Kirby, Smash, and Pokemon.
To be clear, we're talking about a port. Smash port.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say we get that, and then we get some prominent third-party titles like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed, and a full lineup of sports, Madden, FIFA, NBA. Now, with 20 million consoles, with even more reach, there is a chance that you do have just as good of a year, and potentially this evolves into not an industry darling, but an industry leader. And I feel like it's going that way, and I think if they can answer Mysteries 1 and 3 in particular, and maybe 2, Virtual Console would be a big boost. Because if this console could become the retro machine, the hardcore machine, the family machine, now you are looking at something that is like a killer in all directions. And that third-party support is going to be critical to that. Because the edge that PS4 and Xbox still have, besides graphics and power, is they get the full library of your Ubisofts, your Activisions, your Capcoms, your EAs, your Warner Bros. Switch doesn't get a quarter of that yet. So how that pans out, I think if third parties come through in a way that surprises us, it is possible for a year that you say, you know what, Nintendo did their job and third parties went above and beyond our expectations. This year was just as good.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. It's just, like I said, to replicate it, you need a new console, and that's not happening. It's so...
In that exact way, yes. Yeah, I just mean the way we feel about the system. If you come out and you get a Smash and a Pokemon... To me, that is not the same, but almost up there with Mario and Zelda.
Mario Kart and Zelda. Again, if it's a Smash port, which is what we're talking about. If we put Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and a Smash port on the same level, you can absolutely you could absolutely put Pokemon and Zelda on the same level.
I think having Smash parties is going to be a game changer. So if they're able to do that, watch out 2018. Our fifth and final mystery is, will there be anything new for the Switch? New attachments. We've heard them discuss recently, that there's maybe more ways to stick things on your Switch besides the regular Joy-Con. And what will they do in terms of Joy-Con colors, in terms of bundles, in terms of Pro Controllers? And will there be any new ideas, any new accessories that we can't possibly predict at this point? Or will it be pretty much a status quo year with games and online being the focal point?
Yeah, this is the most interesting one. I saw a comment on the video we had made about the Joy-Con maybe not being the only thing you can attach, right? They said something funny like, hey, just give me a reverse Joy-Con for the right so that it can be exactly like the Wii U gamepad, because they got so used to the thumbsticks being, right like on the same level instead of being concave. Like, yeah, new colors for sure. I don't think we ever get a new color Switch. I don't think we get like a white Switch, even though that would be like amazing. I don't think that happens, but Joy-Con is where it's at with the colors. I definitely feel we get at least a handful of new colors to coincide with whatever releases. A Yoshi green, a Kirby pink for Joy-Con. That stuff is almost like no-brainers to me, I feel like.
Yeah, and same with Pro Controllers. I'm sure we get some that are tied to games, whether it's Yoshi in a bright green, or eventual Pokemon or whatever we see, in the future. I do hope that we get some new idea, and whether that comes in the form of a unique way of rolling out Virtual Console, whether that comes in a new kind of attachment, whether that comes in the form of, I don't know, a new kind of case, whatever it might be. I hope that there is some forward progress in just some technology for the Switch. Nintendo loves doing that. We've seen that happen in the past. And, whether it was Motion Plus or whether it was the Circle Pad Pro or an iteration of the DS, I don't think there's any iteration of the Switch. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we're going to get some new system or anything like that. But, hey, a new base color Switch or a new color dock even, like, I know those aren't really groundbreaking, but I would love to see just something change for the Switch ecosystem in 2018. I think, personally, Gabe, you say that this is your favorite mystery. Mine has to be what the heck is releasing. I just want to know the lineup. I want to know when we're running at E3 to the now public-filled hall where Nintendo has their Epic setup and dozens of stations, what game we're running to.
Snipper Clips too, absolutely.
Yeah, right. Gosh. I hope that there is more excitement than Snipper Clips 2. Not that Snipper Clips 2 won't be exciting, but I hope that we're running to Smash or we're running to Pokemon or we're running to something completely new. I mean, I think a new IP would also fit into this fifth mystery. Splatoon had so much success. ARMS, not the same, but a very fun game and a concept that I think took us by surprise. I'd love to see another new Nintendo idea kind of, be gunning for a fan base in 2018. So let us know what you think of these five mysteries. Just to recap, what the heck is releasing? Where the heck is Virtual Console in the online? Will third parties actually come through? Is there any way Nintendo can replicate the 2017 success? And will there be any new attachments or new ideas in the calendar of 2018? Let us know your take in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and its future in 2018. We'll have you covered in every way possible. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth. We are your Switch sensory overload. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day. For myself and Gabe, Switch Force out.